Okay. I'm Rachel Hertzman, and this is my Emulating Emily project. For my poem, I chose How Happy is the Little Stone by Emily Dickinson. So I'll go ahead and read that for you. How happy is the little stone that rambles on the road alone, and doesn't care about careers and exigencies, never fears, whose coat of elemental brown a passing universe put on, and independent as the sun, associates or glows alone, fulfilling absolute decree in casual simplicity. So this poem is obviously it was one stanza, 10 lines. The rhyme scheme is A A B B C C D D E E. As you can see here in lines 5 through 8, brown and on and sun and alone, those are all slant rhymes. Um, So the poem itself is a commentation on um, her transcendentalist beliefs of the time. It really talks about up here the stone. Some people could think that it represents a person or herself or society in general. And then you come down to where she starts talking about these exigencies and cares. Um, all of these are things that would personify this stone. They are things that stones cannot feel, they're feelings. Um, but then you look at it and you might think that this alone here might be talking about herself. And then you could also take it into account. You look at the words like elemental brown, so describing this stone's coat as elemental, meaning that it is in a scientific um, view that this is the base of what it is. It's not brown because it chooses to be. It's brown because that's its scientific makeup. And then a universe also goes with that scientific side, and the sun also. Um, so that's just simplifying this stone's existence. So this is a stone who has this coat of brown that really doesn't choose to be brown because it doesn't care what people think about it. It doesn't have any fears because it's just a stone. It is made by the universe. It's just what it is because of science. Um, and then you go down, I think one of the main words to look at is this absolute decree. So a decree is either a foreordained event. Actually, it is a foreordained event, which in theology is like something that God put on earth, like it's the belief that everyone's here for a set reason, and that's all there is to it. Um, so by saying that this stone living here, without any cares, without any fears, is fulfilling its God-given place on this earth. That being simple, down here, simplicity, that is what it's meant to be because it's just a stone. So, all in all, How Happy is Little Stone is Emily Dickinson's way of saying, like, we all need to just live our lives without any fears, without any cares, and her talking about this elemental brown, this stone, all of this nature talk really brings out this transcendentalist belief that, we're all going to live the way we're supposed to if we become closer with nature, become so closer with like what we're put here to be, get away from all of the man-made things that, careers and exigencies, all these things that cause these fears. So, also, just more explanation. Here, she uses happy and care, I said, were some of her, and fear were some of her personification of the stone, and then she also uses a simile when describing the stone independent as the sun, so the as causes that to be a simile. Just really to explain, on another level, like the stone is alone, So, when you continue on our little adventure, you get to my poem I wrote off of Emily's. It's called A Stone That Stands Alone. So I'll read that for you. How happy is the little stone whose worries all have gone and flown. No matter what the world gives, the peacefulness still glows and lives. Without anywhere to be, no person telling it to flee. A single body, not based off some Barbie. This stone is a stone, it will always stand alone. So my poem on the same kind of like page as Emily's. I talk more about society today rather than like this the idea of transcendentalist and like this nature idea. Just talking about how like the stone really representing like is a metaphor for people who have the courage and the fortitude to step away from society and not be afraid what people think. So then you go on and you see that and that really comes out when I say not based off of some Barbie, because like society has this idea today that like everyone has to be these Barbies, and even though it's changing, they come out with these new Barbies that are shorter, like curvier, whatever. Like there's still this idea of a Barbie, like a perfect being, and that's not true. Like no one's perfect. So that's really me commenting on that. A stone is someone who understands that they don't have to be a Barbie to be accepted in life. And then you really okay, so what it's saying is really like the people who are able to get away from this idea, who are able to live, independently with their own thoughts, their own beliefs, they're the happy people in life. So this stone is a stone, like it is what it is, and it's always going to be what it is. It's always going to stand alone in its thoughts. Um, so that's really saying, I think that's really the main points of my poem. It's something that I really think is interesting to look at. Today our beliefs are more like the major beliefs today, kind of that parallel the transcendentalist beliefs of Emily Dickinson's time, is that she really was like, oh, like to get away from society you have to completely go into nature. Well, no, like to get away from society today, it's not just like you have to completely remove yourself literally from society. You just have to have an understanding that like you don't have to be this Barbie figure that's perfect, that's you know tall, skinny, like blonde, or like even a male, like completely buff, like athletic. You can be who you want to be and you're going to be accepted. So on the, you know, poetic or not poetic, like not deep side, this is a one stanza poem, just as Emily's was. It's 10 lines, same rhyme scheme. I even put the slant rhymes through 5 through 8 over here. Yeah, I used a metaphor with the stone again. And yeah, you know, that's really it. So thank you for listening. Sorry it's got kind of boring. My voice is okay. Anyways, I'm gonna stop. Bye. Oh, it's still recording. This is uncomfortable.